Hi everyone, it's Raina. So this video is if you have Pluto transiting your first house. Pluto is a generational planet, and the key word of Pluto is transformation. And so when Pluto crosses over the threshold of your ascendant and transits your first house, you can expect that there will be a lot of change that occurs in terms of your persona or even your physical self. The first house is the house of the self, but it isn't just your appearance. It is, the way that you conduct yourself and the way you present yourself, whatever you want to call it. There's more than one facet to ourselves when we are interacting with the world. So it's not going to be just one thing. And as usual, I want to give a shout out to a site that I find very helpful in many different ways called cafeastrology.com. I really recommend it because I use their ephemeris, or is it ephemerae for the ephemerises for the plural. And I find it to be a very clean kind of design for that. And they have a wealth of material. But it's very interesting because I do consult different sites. And for this particular transit, I found one site that said even plastic surgery during the Pluto transit of the first house. And then I saw another site which said that, anything that is changed is not going to be on the superficial level. So you can see very easily that when you try to find information on probably just about anything, you're going to get contradictory results. So you have to tune into your own self to decide what it is that you think is going on. I would say that both of those things could be true, because if a person has Pluto initially entering their first house, and if they have lived a life where they have really placed undue importance on their physical appearance, the natural inclination might be to change themselves in that way, to alter their appearance through plastic surgery. And I bet you that they will find out at the end of that transit that that was not going to fix them, because I think that's kind of what the lesson of Pluto is. Pluto is one of the rulers of Scorpio and one of the rulers of the eighth house that is Scorpio's domain, along with Mars. And so Pluto is all about digging beneath the surface and finding out the truth of things beneath the shiny exterior. And you can find all kinds of nasty stuff, below the surface sometimes. And so with the first house, this can be even shadow work as it pertains to how you present yourself to others. So, thinking of somebody whose sun is in Libra, for instance, this could be a particularly profound transit. I would even say, Gemini, I'm thinking of, not picking on air signs, but I'm thinking of people who might either present a glib kind of image, or they want to appear as if they are lighthearted, but there might be, aspects of themselves that need to be acknowledged and even, to be excavated. So, as with any transit, it's very possible that there will be outer events, I feel, that kind of push you to reinvent yourself. And yeah, the word gravitas just came into my mind. And I'm thinking specifically of Gemini, a sign like that, where the person may just want to live life almost like skimming the surface of life. And I'm not saying that every Gemini person is like that, but I actually understand that impulse. And I think that there's a good reason for it sometimes, because some people are very heavy emotionally and they go through life, um, you know, making everything into this tragedy, and they're taking their trauma and just kind of like keeping it alive. So being lighthearted is actually a blessing in certain instances too. But the other aspect of that, dealing with people who have a tendency to be more on the light side, is that they may be very social and they like that kind of interaction. And now is a time that you may be feeling the need to pull back and pull into yourself and less into that kind of outer world, into that gregarious quality that makes you so maybe so popular and more into yourself. Not in a way that is self-absorbed, and this is really about deep personal understanding. I think there could be a bit of a paradox here, because when this begins and there is a conjunction with the ascendant, in other words, it's close in degrees with the ascendant, which will happen as soon as it enters that first house, for however many degrees. But the tighter the conjunction, the more this will be an immediate influence. Other people may be drawn to you. You may have this, I was going to say, this dark charisma, but it's really a magnetic pull, definitely. And this is also true of somebody who has Pluto in their natal first house, where they tend to be magnetic and mysterious, but almost intimidating sometimes. So that could also happen, how people react to you. But this is a time of stepping into your power, because that's one of the big keywords of Pluto, along with transformation. But it's an internal power. It's not something that's coming because you're, you know, in management, or became a parent and now you get to call the shots, in your personal life. It's really about letting go of shallow things and embracing your deeper self, your more profound self. And another thing that I wanted to add is, I honestly believe, talking about that other site that mentioned plastic surgery, I mean, yeah, I guess something could happen along those lines if you felt that it was in alignment with um, something deep. But usually with plastic surgery, it's, to me, more about wanting to be acceptable. It's not really something that's deep. I actually think that it's the opposite, that it would be more likely is that someone, let's say a woman who was very attached to her physical appearance, that she might just let that go, almost in a like a completely extreme way, like from one extreme to the other. So again, not to pick on Libra individuals, but yeah, I mean, a person who believes that you have to be attractive to be acceptable, or if they're trying to attract a mate, and maybe they go through like this traumatic divorce and they say, I'm done with trying to twist myself into a pretzel to please another person in terms of how I look. That was the mistake I made. So maybe a Taurus individual. Taurus and Libra are signs that are both ruled by Venus. So that might place excessive importance on physical beauty. Or just anyone who has felt like they have been judged by their looks, even if it's a positive sort of look that other people really respond to. The person may be like, you know what, I always get treated in a way that has nothing to do with me, at least now. And so the woman who's like gorgeous, who shaves her head, and people are like, why did she do that? Why, these kinds of things. Yes, it can be very, very extreme, but it may serve a very important purpose. You're working out something at a deep level. And at the end of the transit, and this will depend on how big your first house is, because a lot of people use the unequal house system, and you might have less than 30 degrees in that first house. So you may not have the whole transit of Pluto in one sign. Perhaps it's going to be, I meant in one house. It might be covering two different houses. So the point is that this isn't a quick transit. This is going to last years. And when you look at your former self, and of course these are all just versions of ourselves. This is not the ultimate self. But when you look at the old you, before, the person you were when this transit began, you probably will see that much has changed. Okay, that's what I have for you. I hope that this resonated. If you would like a private reading, the link is below. Take care. Bye.